Welcome to XFPR Audio. Today I'm just going to show you guys how to make a euphoric hardstyle kick. This is just a basic tutorial. This isn't going to be some super professional kick. I just want to show you guys how to make one. So what I did for this tutorial is that I copied down presets from a different tutorial video, but that tutorial video was very hard to follow. So I'm just going to show you guys how to do it step by step, because that tutorial video wasn't exactly step by step. It was okay, but I just want to make it a little bit easier for some people who might have a little bit of trouble keeping up. So I started out with this. This is just an E-kit kick from, it's right here. And this is from the kicks right here in the drums pack, in the packs folder in FL Studio. And all you're going to want to do is drag it into the playlist. And then all I want you guys to do in order to achieve the sound you're going for to start out with is to adjust the pitch to this and the MUL to this. And then you will have, hold on, let me just turn all these off so you guys know what sound you're going to get. And this is the sound you're going to have. Sounds kind of like a techno kick, right? Because like obviously, like hardstyle is obviously a more extreme version of techno, so obviously that's what you're going to start out with. So once you have that, what you're going to want to do is just copy these down. So what I did here was that I increased the bass right here, not really the sub, but like the mid bass area. And this is what that's going to do. And when you do that, it's going to increase the sub bass, which I didn't even realize that would actually help make the sound better. And I added a fruity wave shaper. This preset kind of copies what some of those like expensive, distortion presets do. And this is just kind of like a copy of what distortion preset was used in the tutorial video. And this is just going to be helpful for those that don't really want to spend money on anything, because it's completely free and it comes with the fruity edition of FL Studio. However, you do need the producer edition in order to use the playlist channel. However, if you do not have that, you can always just go ahead and click the plus button and click FL Studio Mobile right here, and it will bring you into the FL Studio Mobile interface, which has a mixer channel for audio clips. And you see when I added that, you're starting to get more of that hardstyle feeling. And then this is just the exact same thing, except you're going to have a low cut right here at 20 Hertz. And what I did to make this low cut sharp is that I clicked this and I went down to order. I right clicked the band. I went down to order. I clicked steep 8, and then I went ahead and clicked high pass. And then I dragged it into position by clicking and holding. And then I added EQ again. So what you want to do when you're making a hardstyle kick, I completely forgot to mention this, is that you want to start with EQ. If you do distortion first, it will mess everything up. So you got to go EQ, distortion, EQ, distortion, EQ, distortion. It is okay if you have EQs stacked up like this, but it is not okay if you have distortions stacked up like this. I just want to make that clear for those who have no idea what they're doing. So for your hardstyle EQing, what you're going to want to do is boost the low mids. Otherwise, it's going to sound a bit like more raw style if you move it to the higher mids. And if you overdrive the mid band too high, you will also go into the raw style territory, which is not what you want for euphoric hardstyle. So what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to go ahead and copy this down. Make sure you have a low cut at 20 hertz, but you want to shape like this. See where my cursor is going? You want to shape like that. You do not want a very extreme cut. You want a rounded cut like this. And then I went ahead and added distortion, and you can just go ahead and copy that down. So I went over to this little area right here, so about here, so like 16.9 dB for distortion on the hard clip is all you're going to need. You don't need anything else from the distortion. And this, I'm just going back to this in case anybody didn't get this. This is the Fruity Wave Shaper preset that I'm using instead of those like expensive distortions that people use for more professional hardstyle kicks. But this is just that. And then just go ahead and copy this down, and you can see you're getting that more of that crunch sound in there, the you know. And with this right here, and again, this is just a mid boost and a low mid cut right here, and then a low cut which actually goes way lower than 20 hertz. It does start at 20 hertz, but it goes past that off the grid. So it's right here. And then just really sharp high cut, and then the kind of the same thing on the lows with the last one right here. And this is the next one. And then the Fruity Wave Shaper again. This is just a little bit of a lighter distortion. You kind of want to make a shape like this, so it's kind of like a swirl a bit. You just want to, what I did was I clicked and holded to move these into position. And what I did for that little dot in the middle that moves around like this, what I did was that I right clicked, and there it was. And you just, if you want to remove it, you just right click again and then click delete. See, again, there's more punch in there now. Oops, and I forgot to add this, which I showed you guys before. And then parametric EQ again. And this time there's just a little bit of a mid cut. Just a little bit. Not too much, just a little bit. And then what I did was I routed this track to this one, so this is a bus now. This is a bus. So what I did, so see this little arrow here? If I click on that, no sound because it's not connected to anything. If I connect it to this, it's connected to the master. But if you want to add more effects, it's not going to be connected to this. This needs to be routed to this. Once it's routed to this, this will be routed to this, and then it will be routed to this, because this bus right here is connected to the master. So everything you add to the bus is going to go right into the master, which is exactly what you want for a bus. And then you just add distortion. Again, just everything here is default except for this. This is just going all the way up to here. And you're getting pretty close to that sound. You just got to copy this down. This is just re-adding the lows and the highs that were removed in the beginning process, and then some correction over here. This kind of enhanced that little ow ow sound a little bit more to kind of get more of that filling that you want. And this is yet again just the highs and the lows being cut for good measure. And then the distortion, which is just a little bit lower of a hard clip. And again, everything else here is default, so you won't have to mess with anything other than the hard clip, which is just right there, just a little bit. So that's 9.3 dB. You can see where I point, and this is just to enhance that whoa sound That is in every hardstyle kick, and you can see the dB right here. So if I don't mention it, the dB is right here where my cursor is. And this is distortion again, and it's the same thing except this time it's 12.8 dB. And there you go. That's what you're going to start with. And then what I did was that I added a little bit of a fade in right here. See that little line there? That's a fade in. So if you want to make a fade in, you just drag that little tiny dot in the corner, and that creates a fade. And you can just adjust this to your taste just by clicking and holding on the dot. And then you add this for a little bit of layering. Layering hardstyle kicks is really, really good if you're into raw style, or you can just layer one or two to create a good euphoric sound. But like if you're making raw style, what you're going to want to do is to stack a ton of these crunches. But we only want like one or two. I used two because I didn't want to go too extreme into more of the raw euphoric zone. And then this is just to add a little bit of movement. This thing right here, all this is just EQ. That's all it is. And there's just a high pass with the mids and the lows cut out completely, and then the highs boosted just a tiny bit, like a dB or two. And you want a little click so your talk doesn't sound too dark and not very bright. And so this is basically this, except this is distorted. This is just what you have at the beginning of the kick. So if you can see, that's when I drag it out, you can see that this is just this. It's just that. So it's just copied. And then what I did was I created a fade out, so it's just a kick. So it's just a little click. And you can use a hi-hat or whatever, but I prefer just to create a click just using the talk, because I feel like that's the most organic, natural way to do it. The most, from scratch way to do it. And I just like to do it. I just did it because that's how it was in the video, and I think that's how I'm going to do it from now on as well. And this is just a kick. You don't want this out because it's going to create a muddy kick if you do that. As you can see, it's actually very simple, the construction process. And so what I did for this, all I did was add EQ. If you want to go into more raw style, you can add distortion before the EQ. So if you're making a raw style talk, you're going to want the distortion first, not the EQ. So for the talk, you want the distortion first. You want to start with distortion. For the crunch, you're going to want to start with EQ. And that's what I did. I left the mids, boosted the mids, boosted the highs a little bit, but the highs are lower than the mids. And that's the talk. And everything together. And that's the kick. And so, this is not the end of the tutorial, however. I imported it into Vital. There is a tutorial on how to pitch your kicks with Vital. However, I'm probably going to leave that in the description if YouTube will let me, because I don't know if I can put links in the description yet, because I'm still a new YouTuber. And so what I did was so this is just everything imported. What I did was I added some effects. I added some distortion and a compressor to brighten everything up just a little bit. And then what I did was that I see this little line right here. It's on the wrong band. So this is the high band, and then the low on the high band, that little low meter. All I did was I dragged this LFO over here, and then I shaped the LFO like this with a swirl kind of shape, kind of the same shape we had before, but this is for a completely different purpose. And what I did was that I clicked this and I clicked made bipolar. It says unipolar right now because I already made it bipolar. And now you can just adjust this to your taste. And there you have it. All I did was that I imported the MIDI notes right here. And what's really cool with pitching your hardstyle kicks with Vital that you can just move notes anywhere, and it's so much quicker and easier to create your kick melodies. You can add a little bit of creativity, kind of like with the Tweak has. Right? As you can see, you can do that. So that concludes this euphoric hardstyle kick tutorial. I just wanted to show everyone how to do this because I discovered how to do it just now, a couple of hours ago, and I just wanted to share this with everybody because I just wanted to make this public knowledge that it is pretty easy to do it. Even if you're not very good at it, you can still create a good classic euphoric hardstyle sound, even if you're not good at making hardstyle kicks. All you just need to do is just copy down what I copied down, and bam, you have your very own hardstyle kick, all yours, completely original. I just want to thank everybody for watching. If anybody did watch, because this is still a new YouTube channel, but if anybody did, I want to say thank you for those that did. If you did watch, probably doesn't have any views, but I just want to say thank you for watching again, and yeah. That is it. Thank you.